Hey y'all, welcome back to the Intuitish podcast, where we talk about the power of using your intuition as a guide to help you navigate your daily life. I am your host, Tisha, and I am so excited to get into today's episode because we're going to be talking about something that sits at the foundation of a lot of things in our life, and that is self-trust. It is so important that we learn to trust ourselves on this journey of life because it is really the essential thing that helps you to make certain decisions in your life and walk the path toward getting the dream life that you desire and manifesting whatever goals you have. So I'm excited to get into today's episode. But before we do, I have our card of the week, which is the Magician card. And this card fits perfectly to this episode. For those of you that are listening to the sound of my voice, if you want to see what this card looks like, head over to YouTube so that you can see the picture of the card. But nonetheless, if you can, I'm going to do my best to explain what this card represents. The Magician card is all about creating magic in your life, specifically with manifesting whatever goals or desires that you have. In this particular card, all of the other suits are represented. So you have your pentacles, you have your cups, you have your swords, and you have your wands, which are all four suits in the tarot. And what this means is having a collective of all of the energy present. Your cups represents water, your pentacles represents earth, your sword represents air, and your wands represents fire. So it's about using the collective of these things together, almost in harmony, to help you manifest your dreams. So what does cups represent? Cups in the tarot represents water. It's the ability to flow. And that's essential when it comes to using your intuition, trusting your intuition, and navigating life. It's important to know in the moments that you're swimming upstream, right, where work is required, action is required, like with the Wands card. And then it's important, like water, knowing how to flow. And then you have your swords energy. So the swords energy, again, is represented by air, which is your mental energy. So conjuring up these ideas in order to manifest your dreams into reality. And then you also have pentacles, which is being grounded here in this physical experience, because this is where you are birthing your ideas and your visions into reality, into manifestation. And then also he has one hand pointed up at the sky and another hand pointed up at the ground. So it represents this harmony between both the spiritual realm and also the physical realm. And it's about using both of these elements, right? All of the energy, fire, air, water, earth, using the spiritual realm, using this physical realm to help you bring your goals and your desires into manifestation. And I think this aligns perfectly with self-trust because it's saying that all things are required on this journey of self-trust. You can use your mind, taking physical steps, right? Taking physical action steps. You can use being grounded in this physical experience and also flowing to help you on the journey of trust, because it is a journey. There are times and seasons of our lives where we feel more connected with ourselves and when we also feel more in trust in ourselves. And there are seasons when we are lacking the trust that we need to make the necessary decisions to move forward in our lives. And when it comes to how you can use these energies, it's about creating the evidence of success. So when you think about self-trust, let's first talk about how you may have come to a state where you don't have trust in yourself. So one of the ways and reasons why a lot of us don't have trust in ourselves is because of that physical evidence that I was talking about, right? We have made certain actions in our life. We've made certain decisions, right? So actions being the wands. I just want to connect this back because I actually really love this concept. So we have made certain actions in our lives. Mentally, we have been in a certain headspace and state in order to conjure up and create these decisions or or come up with these decisions. Emotionally, because cups represent water, water represent emotions. We have been in an emotional state, and we've also been in this physical experience, right? Going through these different life experiences that has helped us to create whatever experience that we have with trusting ourselves. For those of you that the experience is positive, it's because you have helped to reinforce positive actions or affirming actions, an affirming mindset, affirming emotions, right? Emotions that are balanced and in flow, and also a physical environment, proof of manifestation. Because when you're talking about being grounded in this experience, it is essentially proof of manifestations, proof of whatever your reality is. That is what the Pentacles energy in the tarot represents. It's about your physical environment. It's about this physical life experience. So you have done a collection of things that have led to the current state of trust that you feel within yourself, whether that's positive or negative. So in a season of feeling a lack of self-trust, what are some of the actions, some of the mindsets, some of the emotions, right, that have led you to this physical space? In order to answer that question, I think the first thing that we should do is get clarity on what the definition of self-trust means. So let me pull that up real quick, and I'm going to read this definition out loud with you. Okay, y'all. So they're saying that self-trust is synonymous with self-confidence. So the definition is a feeling of trust in one's abilities, which is, let's not use the word. I don't like using the word in the definition. So I'm going to say a feeling of confidence in one's abilities, qualities, and judgment. So that is the definition of self-trust. It is a feeling of confidence in one's abilities, qualities, and judgment. As I was saying a moment ago, what are some of the actions, the mindset, the emotions, right? What is the physical state of being that creates this feeling of lack of trust? What that would look like, and I have to give credit where credit is due. This analogy came from Tiffany TV on YouTube. So please check her out. She shares a bunch of information about personal growth as well, mindset. So please check her out. She actually did a video on self-trust right in alignment with the time that I was experiencing that. And that's what's inspired me bringing this episode to you. So make sure you check her out as well. But the example that she used in that is when you think about self-trust, think about it similar to the way that you would think about your relationship with a friend or a family member. If you find that your friend is constantly not showing up, you guys make plans and they're always canceling. When you need their emotional support, they're never there for you. They never show up for you. How does that feel to you? It feels like you can't trust that person. So the same thing is true for you. When you are not showing up for yourself, when you are not sticking to the things that you say that you want to do, when you are not executing your dreams, right? When we talked about the magician card, we talked about the spirit realm and the physical plane, right? So any ideas or promptings that you get, it is important for you to act on those things and see those things through. Because if you're not, what happens is you are lessening the self-trust that you have within yourself. The more that you show up, the more that you're able to check the things off it's not even about so much as checking things off your to-do list. It's more so about checking things off your dream life list, right? So whatever the things are that you want in your life right now, whatever it is that you want to see happen or manifest in your life, it is so essential and crucial that you're working toward accomplishing those tasks. The more that you work toward accomplishing those tasks, the more self-trust that you build within yourself. You also establish self-trust in your judgment calls. I did an entire episode on decision making, and decision making is so essential in your life. We are making decisions on a daily basis, and that is one way that we can work toward either establishing a great sense of self-trust or a great lack of self-trust. So it is important that when you are making decisions, you're thinking about the decisions that you're making and the place that they're fueled from. If your decisions are rooted in your core belief, the things that you truly desire, then that is a good decision for you. But if you are making decisions based off of other people or some sort of belief or experience that is outside of yourself, you are never going to move in alignment with trusting yourself. How can you trust yourself if you're not even trusting the source that the information is coming from? Essentially, what I'm trying to say is until you trust yourself enough to be authentically yourself and make decisions from a place that is true, when you think about and really think about what is it that I desire? What is it that I truly want out of life? Now, is this decision that I'm making in alignment with that or not in alignment with that? The more that your decisions are in alignment with the life that you want to manifest, with the things that you truly desire, and the more that you continue to make decisions in alignment with that, the deeper that your self-trust will be. So let's talk about the emotions. And this is so deeply connected to intuition. A big component of your intuition and being able to use your intuition as a guide in navigating your life is having self-trust. You cannot trust your intuition, hear your intuition if you do not trust yourself. It is something that happens together. One cannot happen or one cannot exist without the other. When you are on a journey to trusting your intuition, it requires a lot of self-affirming in the things that you're hearing and trusting the way that you're going to hear them. We all have different abilities and ways of hearing our intuition, and it requires your trust in order to know that. And how do you navigate that space? We've spoken about this in previous episodes, but the way that you navigate that space is through your emotions. So your emotions is another way that you establish self-trust with yourself. I'm going to speak about this on a relationship level. What this looks like on a relationship level is going back to the friendship scenario where you have a friend that's not showing up. You guys constantly make plans. They always cancel. They're never there to emotionally support you. In that situation, how do you maneuver? How do you navigate? Do you honor your emotions or do you go against your emotions? A part of trusting yourself is trusting the way that you feel and understanding that there's validity and truth to whatever it is that you feel, because if it was not, you would not feel it. And when you are feeling these emotions, it's important that you have the necessary conversations with your friend in order to bring that relationship back in harmony. But it's not just about you bringing that relationship back in harmony. It's also about you staying in harmony and in alignment with your true self. If you decide that this friend that has not been showing up for you, you're just going to continue to accept this behavior, although you know you feel a way about it and it bothers you, you are now dishonoring yourself. You are now dishonoring your emotions. And because of that, you are now lessening your connection and your relationship with self-trust. So even in our relationships, it reflects back our self-trust, because something cannot exist outside of you that's not within you. If you don't trust yourself in here, then you're not going to trust yourself out here. And it's going to show up in every aspect of your life. And this friendship relationship aspect is just one way. It can also happen at work when you're in a work setting. And let's say you're feeling unhappy or you're feeling unfulfilled, whether you want to move up in the workplace, but every time an opportunity presents itself, it constantly keeps passing you by. You keep hiding out in the backgrounds or in the shadows, and you never have a conversation with your boss or your manager. You are now creating a space of being out of alignment with your emotions, and you're not trusting yourself to give yourself the result that you want, which is the promotion or the raise or a better position. There are so many areas that this shows to be true. We talked about the mental. We talked about the emotional. We're going to talk about the action, right? The fire, the action. Fire in the tarot, wands in the tarot represents action. Are you taking the necessary steps that are going to align with you trusting yourself? The answer is either yes or no. When you are on a journey to manifesting your dreams, right? I know this is an episode about self-trust, but the ultimate goal here when we're trusting ourselves is to put ourselves in a space where we're trusting ourselves enough to get the things that we desire out of life. And I just find it really interesting that the Magician card came up today and it's connected to that. So that's why we're continuing to tell the story in this way, where we're bringing the tarot's energy into it and we're relating it back to real life. So if this is something that you like, if you actually like this out, please let me know. I can definitely do more episodes like this and I'm finding it fun doing it. Back to what I was saying, speaking about the wands, it is important that you're taking physical action steps that are in alignment with you trusting yourself. Let's say that you have an idea and you know that there's a specific way that you want to bring this idea into physical manifestation, but maybe the sources that you've seen haven't really catered to providing information that you need in order to execute your vision the way that you see it in your head. Instead of you thinking outside the box in order to figure out how you can manifest your vision exactly the way that you see your vision, you decide to settle and you just do the version that you've commonly seen. This, first of all, if this thing comes into manifestation, this is a huge amount of energy that is feeding the bucket of you not trusting yourself. Why? Because you did not trust the vision that you received, the way that you received it, and you didn't honor that vision and take the physical steps that you needed in order to execute that into reality and manifest that into reality the way that it came from within you. So taking physical action is essentially about not compromising. You're not compromising your mind, the vision that you receive. You're not compromising the feeling, the intuition, right? The guidance that you received from your inner voice. Actually, what's happening is you are bringing that thing into physical manifestation through your actions. There is so much energy that adds up when you physically take action. It's like they say, believe what a person does and not what they say. What you do is ultimately going to be the true testament to whether or not you trust yourself. Because that's the other thing. The Magician card is about using all of these elements together to help you in harmony, to help you manifest your dreams. So if you are not using the mental guidance that you're receiving, the emotional guidance that you're receiving, what you're receiving from your physical environment in order to take the physical action steps and bring this manifestation into reality, then you are compromising your trust with yourself. The last part of this that I want to speak on is physical. We talk about pentacles, we talk about the physical life or your physical realm. So how does self-trust show up in your physical realm? Do you live in the home that makes you happy? When you said, this couch don't feel good over here, something is telling me I need to rearrange the couch for my internal feng shui, because these are the things that are helping you to feel more connected in this experience. Your home is so important. It is literally your sanctuary. It is what fuels you. It should be your place that you go to get whatever ideas and visions for your life that you want. The physical environment also represents your home, but it does represent the way that you show up in the world, right? So this could be your physical appearance. Are you dressing in a way that aligns with who you truly are? Trusting yourself is really about trusting yourself to be authentically who you are and knowing that it's going to be received anyway. If it weren't meant to be, then you would have never thought it. You would have never felt it. It would have never came to you. So it's trusting that there's validity to whatever it is that you're feeling, thinking, whatever physical actions that you want to make. If you suddenly just feel like, I want to move. I don't know why. I just feel like this apartment is no longer working for me. Or it's time to switch jobs. It's about knowing that when it's time to move, you move. I know I'm backtracking a little bit to the actions, but I'm just painting this full picture of what it really means to embody yourself using all of the elements. I think it's really important that we learn to take accountability in our lives for wherever it is that we are, however connected or disconnected we feel from this idea of self-trust. And just know that wherever you are physically in your life with manifesting your dreams, whether you're 100% satisfied with where you are in your life, which if you are, that's amazing, or if there are areas of your life that you feel like need improvement and you're trying to figure out and push past it, understand that you need to take a level of accountability for all of the decisions, the actions, the mindset, the thinking, the emotions that have led up to this point. And also understand that it is okay. It's okay for you to be in a position where you don't trust yourself. I think the key here is to be honest about your feelings and also to do a little bit of reflecting on why it is that you feel like you reached this place where you're not trusting yourself. What are some of those actions and things that you've done? How can you undo some of those things? And when I say undo, I don't mean go back. I just mean moving forward. How can you start to make better decisions to rewrite a new version of your story and what your future is going to look like? And that's really all the messages that I have for today's episode. I hope that you enjoyed it, that you take something away from this episode. Understand that building self-trust is like building a relationship with yourself. And the more that you understand who you are, but also honor who you are, the easier it will be for you to align with this idea of self-trust. And with that said, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I will see y'all in the next one. Until then, remember to stay intuitive and always trust your inner guide. It will never mislead you. I will see you in the next episode. Take care.